So it got me thinking about, how did we get here? And I began with the definition, because a lot of what people are afraid of is what they think robots are. And there's a lot of people that know a lot more about robots that are sitting in this room. So the way I think about robots and the way I explain it is it's just software. It's just software that does what we used to do. So we used to be hands-on keyboard or scanners on barcodes or voice-enabled. We used to be the people inputting, keystroking, swiping, scanning. Robots now is just the software that pretend to do what we used to do. For anybody that watched the Jetsons when they were a kid, we grew up thinking that a robot was a thing on wheels that moved around that cleaned your house. Those are robots too, it's just that the modern version of robots doesn't sit in a device. It can sit in a device, but it doesn't have to. It's just software that does what we do, is all it is. The folks that wrote an article at Inverse believe that women are fundamentally hardwired for a world of robotics. Opinions are very varied on this, whether or not women are most at risk of losing their jobs in a world of robotics or whether men are most at risk for losing their jobs. If you Google any of that, you'll find articles that kind of fall on both sides of what people think of who's more at risk. But if you think about it from the positive point of view, it's where does the opportunity sit? If we're all going to be working in that high value area where we need to be understanding very complex problems across a broad range of skill sets with people from lots of different disciplines, taking care of customers, as well as working to attract more people to the organization, those are skills that most women are quite good at using, have been very successful at deploying into their companies.
We were talking about where we would send our daughters to study and what future they should have. Maybe they shouldn't be doctors, or at least they would have to think about what doctors they're going to become, because a lot of the medicine areas are actually already working much better if a machine is doing it and not a human. So for example, looking at pictures and x-rays, and in this case looking at a retina picture, is already more effectively done by a machine, and you can, I think, probably can understand why it is easier to recognize these patterns for a machine eye. And of course, work is going to change as well. It's already changing. We all see that. You guys sitting here at breakfast, and in a way, you're working, you're learning. It's not your company teaching you. It's another little group giving you some education. And we're already working from coffee shops and co-working places. A lot of us are not working for one company, but working for several companies, giving our knowledge where it's most needed. But Google, about 10 years ago, already started to think about managerless teams. And why do we even need managers in this world? Managers can be so subjective. Judging what you have been doing, right? And do we need to be judged anyway how we're working? We just have to be given good jobs and good tasks to accomplish.
Okay, so everybody can just find a comfortable position to sit in, and then when you're ready, just close your eyes. Okay. So imagine it's the year 2030. You've just had your lunch delivered to your shared working space by a drone. Over lunch, you're spending time selecting an outfit ready for your annual trip to Mars. It doesn't take you long, as the computer knows exactly your measurements and favourite colours. After work, you're taking a flying Uber home, you don't drive anymore, and you get to activate your heating to be on by the time you arrive back. As you arrive back, you say hello to your neighbour and note that he's making good progress on the 3D printing of his new garden shed. Again, as you arrive in the door, another drone delivers your dinner just right outside, exactly what you like to eat. And then once you've finished your meal, as you sit on the sofa, you decide to visit the Great Barrier Reef and do some virtual diving for the evening, perhaps with family if you have them.